Good day, Hudson Valley. I'm your host, Lisa Caslin, and welcome to our show where we bring you the best of what's happening in Putnam County. Today we're going to talk about a fun subject, food, and a really neat initiative that the Putnam County Health Department has kicked off or will kick off next week with at least 24 restaurants. And we have a spectacular lineup of guests who are a lot of fun from across the county. First, I'd like to introduce Barbara Elardi, supervising educator for the Department of Health. Welcome, Barbara.
Thank you.
We have Kamel Jamal from Angelina's Restaurant in Cold Spring. Andy Linzeris from the Red Rooster Drive-In in Brewster. Welcome. And Pat Cotillo from Cotillo's Restaurant in Kent. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for coming. Barbara, let's start with you.
Sure.
Tell us a little bit about this Eat Smart Restaurant Week that's going on.
I'm happy to do so, Lisa. This is a really win-win situation for Putnam County. This was a brainchild of our Commissioner of Health, Dr. Alan Beals. He came one day and said, you know, we're promoting chronic disease prevention. People are overweight, people have diabetes, hypertension, and we do a lot of education around that, but we have to do something bigger. And I really want to do this in coordination with the restaurants, with the county at large, and he came up with Eat Smart Restaurant Week. And the logo is really where delicious and healthy come together. And that's really what we've tried to do. It's been wonderful. The response has been incredible. We had a kickoff of our logo in July, and we had Rich Parenti from the Clock Tower Grill participating, along with a lot of county people that supported this, including our county executive and our Director of Tourism and Economic Development.
I love it. So it's not really about losing weight, which everybody, wants to do, but it's really about eating more wholesomely, right? And working with restaurants to sort of maybe tweak things a little bit. What are the guidelines?
Okay, absolutely. We were really trying not to make this complicated for the residents as well as the restaurateurs and chefs. So we looked at a daily serving. What are your daily servings for nutrients? I am a nutritionist undergrad. We have nutritionists on staff. Chris Boyle, our top nutritionist, has really worked with the restaurants the most. But we wanted to figure out, how do we do this simply? So our guidelines are general. 700 calories or less, 23 grams of fat or less, and minimizing the use of salt, 800 milligrams or less. Overall guidelines. Mostly smaller portions, lots of veggies.
Great.
And as much farm to table as you can get, as much wholesome ingredients that you can get, but of course within reason.
Love it. And we have plenty of farm to table opportunities here in Putnam, right?
Absolutely, we do.
So, guys, what made you get involved with this? Anybody want to start? Pat?
Sean, I think.
Oh, go Sean. Well, yeah, Sean. I'd like to give credit to Sean, who is our sanitarian, who really pitched us the idea of doing farm to table, getting involved with the county government to promote a restaurant week, which had guidelines that would help healthy eating. And healthy eating is very important to us, all of us, and myself in particular. I didn't realize how unhealthy I was. I had very high cholesterol, and I had to go and get stents in my heart last September. So coming up on an anniversary, so I got 4 stents and a blood clot removed, and I had to change my lifestyle. And we like to give the opportunity for customers to say, no matter what your predicament is, we can offer you something that will fit your dietary needs, which most of us do on a regular basis, but this really helps to promote it.
Wow, so you really have a passion behind it.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's wonderful. How about you, Henry?
Sean. It was all Sean. And I had the menu already. I redid my menu like 2 years ago. I had a healthy menu, so he wanted to know if I wanted to participate. I said, sure, I already have the items. A lot of people don't know, I don't advertise it,
But I mean, Red Rooster, everybody knows Red Rooster. It's sort of like a cult classic in Putnam County, right? I mean, you'd sort of think of it more as a fast food type of restaurant.
Well,
so was it challenging?
Fast food. Okay. Quick service. Everything's cooked to order. So yeah, we're known for our burgers and our ice cream. So a lot of people don't associate eating healthy with that, you know. But it worked.
Good.
Sell those items a lot.
And Kamel?
Well, I think it gave me the opportunity to look at my menu that I've been serving for all these years and put a different twist on it and explore, my culinary abilities and offer outside of Italian. So that's the advantage I took on that, and I said, let me captivate it and go with that. So that's why I chose to do it. I thought it was going to be exciting, and it gave people the opportunity to come to my establishment more than once in a while. And there's always someone that's looking to eat healthy in a group of people, so it gives them a different alternative, and it gives them more reason to come to my establishment. So that's the reason why I felt it was important to participate.
So if you're serving classic Italian food,
I
right?
am.
And similarly with you, right, Pat?
Yes.
So, I mean, when you think of Italian food, you think a lot of cheese, right? Sauces that may be loaded with, oil and salt. So what is an alternative? Give me an example of an alternative, how you retooled.
Well, we wanted to, with the healthy eating, we wanted to, think outside of the box and go outside of Italian, but we also wanted to stay true to Italian. And we did a retake on an eggplant rolantini, for example.
Okay.
And what we did is we grilled our eggplant rather than frying it, and we used a low-fat ricotta, and rather than adding a whole bunch of cheeses, we got rid of the cheeses completely and just went with a sauce. So we did a retake on our eggplant rolantini, which worked out phenomenal. It tastes great, and
Oh, that's great.
it's another way of looking at things.
Good. Pat?
And well, for us, we wanted to do dishes that were already healthy or already within the guidelines. So we chose a traditional giambotta, which is a Italian stew, which is great for this time of year. It'd be great for most of September. It's eggplant, zucchinis from the garden, a lot of fresh herbs, and that's going to be served with a wheat pasta. Normally, I like to have it with sausage, so we left the sausage out. So we came in the guidelines of a lot of vegetables, low carb, and almost no fats.
That's awesome. And how about you, Andy? What is your specialty now for this week?
We're doing like the salads. We do a salad, we do a wrap with fresh grilled chicken. We measure everything out. It's a whole wheat wrap. I have a veggie burger, which was already on the menu. And we do that on whole wheat bread. So we hand cut the salad. We grill a chicken breast with no salt, some seasoning, some herbs. And measure out the dressing, hand toss it for you, put it in a bowl.
And
beautiful.
Bob's your uncle, as they say, right?
Sell a lot of them. We sell a lot of them. Yeah.
So Restaurant Week is actually 2 weeks, right? So
That's
it's
correct.
from September 7th through the 21st?
Correct.
Okay. So once the 21st hits, what happens? Are you going to continue to offer these options? Do you think you'll pull back? Are you going to see how the public takes to them? What's your vision?
Well, I think it's an opportunity to change directions. I think it's an opportunity to, in a business aspect, attract new clientele and freshen up the idea of cooking and give alternatives. So we're going to keep our staple menu, but we want to keep specials. And rather than doing our weekly specials that are in the same box, we're now offering Asian cuisine that's healthier, different types of healthy Asian cuisines in an Italian restaurant, which is a little bit crazy, but it's a lot of fun, and it gives our clientele to see what we're all about, and just so I think we're going to run with it and keep it going and try to start a new trend.
Oh, good. I love that. You going to keep it going?
Mine? Yeah, it's already on the menu. I'll probably grow it a little bit. I'll probably add a few more salads, a few more wraps, but definitely.
Good.
Definitely.
And I know you're going to keep doing
Oh,
it.
well, it's definitely here to stay.
Yeah.
Our menu always had something which would appeal to people with different dietary needs. A lot of what we find now, especially I'm sure Angelina, is also people who request things like celiac disease and food allergies have become a major part of things that we have to take in consideration on a daily basis. Which is why I have a large menu if you're familiar with it, and there's always things that if you need it tweaked, you can. Or if you need something in particular, you're probably going to find something you want on the menu that'll fit your guidelines.
Do you think that, I feel like there's a certain level of sophistication that consumers who are eating out have hit now in terms of the demand, right? So it seems like people are asking for and expecting to get organic food, right, unprocessed food. Are you seeing that in your restaurant? Are people asking specifically for that type of entree?
What I've experienced with our clientele is, with the internet and information, and we're just so aware of our surroundings. We're in the Hudson Valley, and we have these beautiful farms that offer such great opportunities for people to eat. and even going back to celiac and stuff like that, people are using it ways to lose weight and be healthier. So we are getting a lot of requests for different items that that cater to their needs, and I think that all comes just from the the fact that there's so much information out there and people are able to tweak their diet to their needs.
Lisa, can I add something to that?
Yeah, please.
I think, one of the main focuses of this initiative, we have people, obviously, that we interact with at the health department that do have some health issues. Some of them are afraid to eat out. They don't think there are alternatives for them. And this was a way to showcase that. There are restaurants, and we hear it today, that will work with you, that offer something. This is highlighting that. We're actually going to have special menu inserts to highlight these dishes. And some people get very frustrated and feel, life's over, I have to eat this low sodium, horrible diet. And we're trying to say, look at these great entrees, appetizers that the restaurateurs have dreamed up for them, and maybe they can take some of this, use herbs more, use less butter, use olive oil, avocado, nuts, good fat, instead of the other one, and take some of these ideas home with them to their families so that they could try something that they may try at Cotillo's or Red Rooster or Angelina's, any of them.
That's a great point. And, obviously you think that this is a trend that's here to stay. And on the point of families, our kids, how do we keep this moving forward? How do we really bring this home to families, and how do we get children to eat healthy? I mean, kids. I mean, I have a 9-year-old. Getting her to eat healthy, if it's not Nutella, she doesn't want to eat it, right? So how do we do that? And especially in schools. I mean, I think the schools are trying, but is the health department doing anything in particular with schools to sort of indoctrinate this eating smart philosophy?
Yes, Lisa, we are working with the schools. Health department staff, myself and Chris Boyle, the nutritionist I talked about before, we're on the school wellness committees. Most of the schools in Putnam County have that. And we work with the schools to try to figure out if we can bring healthy, nutritious ideas into their school lunch menus. In Carmel schools, which I can speak of because I'm on that committee, they actually work to get the fryers out of the schools. And it was a wonderful process. They didn't do it all at once, just eliminate frying from K to high school. She started out in the elementary schools, and then by the time those elementary kids were in the middle school, she got rid of it in the middle school and then the high school, so there was absolutely no break. And it was just a great way for children to not even know that they were gone.
They were retrained.
Exactly. She's also added whole grains. They've added more fruits and vegetables to the plates. So it's just been good, and the schools are very, very responsive to that. And in fact, we do have a school on participating in Eat Smart Restaurant Week.
Oh, wow, that's great.
Right. Not open to the public, but this school felt that they wanted to participate, and they did that.
Oh, that's wonderful. Okay, so the story is great, and I think you are all doing a tremendous job. Question. How did you sell this to these guys? Because, I mean, anybody who works in the restaurant industry knows it is a 24/7 business, and you coming in and, making these grand suggestions on how they should tweak their menu must have been difficult. So how did you convince them that this was going to be a good idea and it was going to work?
Well, actually, annually, the health department sponsors a food operator seminar, which are restaurateurs, food operators, and that goes from delis to schools, anybody that we permit. We encourage them to come to the food operator seminar. This year's theme was farm to table. We actually had farmers, we had chefs, we had ideas of how to bring more fresh ingredients to the table. And we kicked off this idea. We said, would you want to do this? Eat Smart Restaurant Week. Sean Rogan is one of our sanitarians. He actually is the host of the food operators. And him, together with Dr. Beals, our commissioner, really pitched this. Chris Boyle, again, spoke to the restaurateurs, kind of gave them the overall guidelines, and said, we're going to work with you. We're not going to say, do this, these are the criteria, and you don't have to do anything else. We worked with the restaurants to really tweak the menus if they needed it. What we saw today, a lot of them had these menu items anyway, but a few others needed some help in figuring out how do you lower fat, how do you lower sodium. They were very, very, very participatory of that.
Awesome. All right, I want to hear the real truth from you guys. What was it like working with the county government?
I love them. They always educate me. Just when you think you know it all, they come and they're always finding new ways and different ideas to promote your business rather than hurt your business. or things like that. So anything that they suggest, I think is, it's a win-win. You're working with the health department and they're trying to educate you and promote your business. So why wouldn't you run with it and take up the opportunity to learn from someone that understands what we do in a different way?
Right.
And I think they represent the public. So when I speak with Sean, is like I'm speaking with my customers. So that's how I feel, and that's why I like to work with them.
That's great. Andy?
I don't know. It's like your friends. It's different. Years ago, I grew up in the restaurant business, so like at my father's place or whatever. They said, "Oh, the inspector's here." Everybody would scatter, hide this, hide that, because I don't know what they did. Here, it's like, "Oh, Andy, Sean's coming in." "Yeah, okay, I'm on the phone with my daughter. I'll talk to him in a minute. Let him go. That's it. No issues. They're great.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, no problems."
Pat?
It's nice working with the health department. So many of the department, they're local and they're from the area, and you might have grown up with them or you see them as customers, and they want to help you. And whenever something arises, like like we were talking outside about Ebola, they're always like right there with like an email of this is happening, or there was a case of rabies, and it's like, well, why are you sending me this? But it's just great that they're really pushing out, not just for the restaurants, but they're kind of pushing out what they do and telling us. And then sometimes we talk to customers and they're like, "Oh, well, I'm having this issue," and we're like, "Oh, call the health department because your water at your house isn't good. You got to call up them. You got to ask them. They'll help you." And they really put that forward, and they're doing a nice job over there.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Nice for me to hear that. Thank you.
We
And
didn't-
it's
we didn't
not
pay
me.
them.
There's a bunch of people back there, believe me, that are doing this great work. And I do think for the sanitarians, it's an educational back and forth with the restaurant owners, not punitive, and that's important.
Yeah. So just so people know, when they're walking down the streets of Kent and Cold Spring and Brewster, how do they find these restaurants that are participating? How do they know?
Great question. We have developed, Brian Austin from our IT department did a beautiful logo for Eat Smart Restaurant Week. We've gotten a lot of recognition, and we actually developed posters for windows.
Perfect.
So people could just, when they're driving by, walking by, they're large enough to see, and it's that logo, Eat Smart Restaurant Week, September 7th to the 21st, and we really hope that people will take advantage of it and come.
Great. And you have a website where people can learn more about it too. Can you give the website?
Absolutely.
I think we have it.
www.putnamcountyny.com, and look for that Eat Smart Restaurant logo. Click on there, and we have all information. The participating restaurants are listed. Our criteria is on there, kind of a question and answer forum, and all the information you need. The other thing about that, we are going to be doing some surveying.
Perfect.
After this is over. We're going to be talking to our restaurants to try to figure out how do we tweak this next year? How do we make it better? And we're going to be asking the restaurants to give everyone that participates a little card, a little business card with their bill, and that business card gives the logo for them to sign on and take a survey.
Oh, great.
And we're just basically asking what they thought about it, any room for improvement from our residents.
Wonderful. So before we close, we have another couple of minutes. Anything else exciting coming from the health department that we should know about?
Well, actually, we're really trying to be an actionable health department. We're trying not to just preach or send out literature. You can see from what the guy said today, we're really trying to be putting our money where our mouth is kind of thing. On Sunday, September 7th, we have Run for Your Life. It's actually a race promoting getting up, get off the couch, get off the computer, come out. It's a family fun day. We have a 9 o'clock start. Come out, run with your family, or you can walk. And it's just something for people to do. And then again, on September 26th, we're having movie night. It's an annual event for National Preparedness Month. And we're showing the zombie movie. We're showing World War Z, which is kind of a
Good movie.
spoof on getting prepared for National Disaster Preparedness Month.
Good, great. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. As we close, I just want to remind everybody this show can only be as good as the feedback that you give me. So visit gooddayhudsonvalley.com, give me your comments, let me know the guests that you'd like to see on the show, and we'll consider everybody. Have a great day, Hudson Valley. Thank you.